Welcome to a nutty adventure exploring personal growth and wellness, breaking down the stigma around mental health along the way. Let's dive in because now it's time to show me your nuts.
Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. Who's got their coffee ready? I had to go cold coffee today because I was hot this morning. Who knew it could be so warm in February in Kansas City? But it is. I think Mother Nature's just jacking with us because I think she's bringing snow this weekend. So welcome to one of my favorite days of the week is Thursday for lots of reasons. Number one, I have coffee in the morning and then I have you guys on the show. So today is the first day of our second series of our second season. It's in the second month, and we're going to start talking about foundations. So our first 6-week series, if you hadn't been watching, go back and watch it. Show me your nuts.online. Go back and watch. Because there's good stuff. We went through a variety of things, all about the ideas of awakenings to how you wake up at 2 a.m. with anxiety, awakenings to what Techxiety is, how technology can cause us anxiety and other feels. We talked about Aunt Ruth met AI. That was probably my favorite episode in the first series. And Sang's in the house and she's like, did you say, yeah, I said the 4-letter word, and yeah, we're supposed to have snow this weekend, I think. That's what I heard. So I don't know. Yeah, I think we'll probably get at least one more before it's over with. That's how Casey kind of rolls. Mother Nature brings in this fake spring business and then comes back and goes, see, haha, I told you. She messes with us. She just messes with us. So she's like, I'm not awake yet. Nope, sorry, we're not going to wake up for spring yet. So speaking of awakenings, so we talked about lots of awakenings. Aunt Ruth met AI and was kind of waking up to the idea of using AI. We last week, that amazing episode with Lori, and she and I both talked about our awakenings after we put our different mental wellness challenges. Mine, I say I put into remission. She says she got rid of her depression. And that's some big awakening right there. Is how do you live your life daily without something so huge like depression or anxiety when you've lived with it for so long. The jury's still for me, the jury's still out on that because there's still times where I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have anxiety anymore. And when I say I don't have anxiety anymore, let me clear that up. It doesn't mean I don't get anxious about things. It means I don't live with that constant poke, 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 anxiety, anxiety, anxiety all the time that generalized anxiety disorder brings. Or that a clinical version of anxiety. And so when I say clinical version of anxiety, what I define that a little bit, that means inordinate, excess, inappropriate, or extra anxiety. Because as humans, we all have feels. We're all supposed to have feels. That's why we're here. We brought ourselves here to have these feels. And so when you have feels, when you're angry, you have an outburst of anger, that doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. It means you're pissed. Now, if you're extraordinary words, it's Thursday morning. Words don't always happen on Thursdays, apparently. When you have excess, inordinate, excessive, or inappropriate, when you have inappropriate or unfounded anger, anxiety, depression, feels, anything that is excess or inappropriate. In other words, it doesn't fit the situation. That's when you lean toward either a clinical version of something, or just, it could even be your body, your whole body's GPS going, hello, something's up. Look at me. I'm here. Look at me. This is something you need to think about. This is something you might want to change. And so those things in and of themselves are awakenings. When you start paying attention to your body, the literal physical feelings you have in your body, where is that feeling? When you feel anger, is it in your chest and like an elephant sitting on it? Is it in your head and you feel like your head's pounding? Is it your hair standing straight up on your arms and you feeling hot and edgy? When you start paying attention to those feels, that is, and then you can start acting to them and dealing with them in a different way. That's your body being your own GPS. We actually are the best GPS system we have. We just don't know it. We're not taught that. That if we listen to ourselves, our own body, our own reactions to things can tell us a lot about what's going on, and then help us figure out point in which direction to do something about it, like GPS does. It's like, okay, you're at streets X and Y, you need to turn left, then go down 2 blocks, turn right, go up the hill, go around the roundabout and, take the second right and go on past the Eiffel Tower and you're there, right? Our bodies have a GPS in how we interact with this world. And so the awakenings of those things are also important. And when you start realizing that your body is a GPS. So this next 6 weeks, we're going to dive deep and take things a little on the kind of the next step, which is foundations. It's what are the foundations of, once you realize, hey, this GPS has told me something and it told me that it told me that I need or want to go somewhere else. Then the foundations are figuring out, how do you make that plan to do the next thing? What are the things you need to do to build the foundations? And as we do here on Show Me Your Nuts, we talk about the intersections of mental wellness, technology, and life, and spirituality even. So we kind of bring those intersections together to and so each week we kind of focus sometimes on a little bit more of one thing than another. And today we're at the intersections of tech and mental wellness. We're looking at the foundations, and we're looking at digital overwhelm. Personally, I'm going to count myself lucky that I don't feel what others feel when they describe digital overwhelm. I don't feel it as often. I do feel it, but not as often as many people do. And I think that's because I have, I'm a technophile. I love technology and I love innovation and I love visionary new, anything that brings together X and Y that are different from each other and brings it together into this new thing. I love innovation like that. It's not just technology that I love, it's the innovation. It's the how do we bring two things that wouldn't normally be together and bring them together. I think of those old Reese's commercials when we were kids of who got chocolate in my peanut butter, who got peanut butter in my chocolate. And I have theories on the peanut butter and chocolate, and mine are a little different than most, but there's got to be the perfect ratio. There needs to be enough peanut butter, and by enough, I mean a lot. And it needs to be dark chocolate. That's my current iteration. Now, that's for me. If you like it another way, you do you, boo. You do you. In fact, I'll take peanut butter and peanut butter. Like one of my adopted moms used to joke with me that I would eat peanut butter if it were smeared on various things, and I'm like, no, there are limits. There are limits to even for me. There are limits. But I digress as I usually do over here. Let's talk about breaking the mental health myths that are related to technology. Let's dig into that a little bit and crack some nuts on that. I thought I had a graphic for that, but apparently I don't see it. I thought I had a nutcracker graphic. I'm gonna have to make me one of them. I'm gonna see who's in the chat real quick. Nakiwate Doreen. Hey, good to meet you. Greetings from this side right here. And G's in the house. Oh my gosh, G, I saw that you were watching Project Joy yesterday. I went and watched the replay from Project Joy yesterday, and I saw that you were in the house. I can't wait to have you on the show, girlfriend. We need to talk. We need to talk and have you come hang sometime. And tech, oh my God, when it's used properly. And let's I don't know if you would agree, but to me, any tool, be it technology, a car, a printing press, a hammer and chisel, fire, which was our first tool, any tool can be used for good or evil, good or bad. And the common denominator in any tool being used for good or evil, guess what the denominator is? The human being. And so, like, really, it's the human being that makes the choice of whether it's used properly, I'm going to redefine properly as good and hopefully and see if you and I are on the same page or not. We may not be, and that's okay. And say that evil is like used improperly. And yes, I am glad. You know what? I am so happy that your schedule is nutty, because a nutty schedule means you're out there having fun, because you wouldn't do it if it's not fun. If it's on your calendar, it's going to be fun. I'm sure of that. And mic drop, G and Stacy are on the same page. That happens frequently. Like we share part of a brain or something, or we're energetically connected, as humans should be. Let's look at some myths on mental wellness and technology. a little bit deeper in that one. So the myth I want to crack is this one. So in the chat, you guys tell me, here's the myth. And then I want you to just react to the myth and tell me what you think. The myth is, if tech stresses you out, you just need more discipline, or you just need to get rid of it. If tech stresses you out, you just need more discipline, or you need to get rid of the tech. And so I'm going to put this on a banner. And I'm going to show that for 20 seconds and see what you guys get. So if tech stresses you out, you just need more discipline, or you need to just get rid of the tech. Tell me what y'all think, because I have some ideas of what I think, but I want to hear from you. If tech stresses you out, you just need more discipline, or you need to get rid of the technology. Because I don't think so. To me, that is a myth. It's like a big old walnut that needs cracked. I don't know if it's an English walnut or a black walnut. I'm not sure. If tech stress, okay, so here comes G with her answer. If tech stresses you out, I believe we need to discover the why. Getting rid of it isn't a solution, and more discipline is vague. Woohoo! Look at her with the drop. Yes, we need to discover the why. The myth is that it's the tech that's stressing you out. One of the part of the myth is that. And getting rid of it isn't a solution, because that actually might make things worse. And the word more discipline is definitely vague. It's vague, and I think it's value laden. It's blaming. It's not helpful when you do that kind of thing. It's not helpful to say you just need more discipline. To me, that's it's value laden, and it says that the person is at fault. And I don't think there's not a fault. The tech is not at fault, nor is the human. So like you just need more discipline. That's not helpful. It's calling fault to the human, and that's not right. But the listening to your GPS and figuring out the why, right? Figuring out the why do you feel stressed out? And it could even be that you're using the wrong tech. It could be as simple as that. I'll call it simple, but that's for me. It could be that may not be simple for other people. So let me back up. It could be that you're not even using the right tech for what you're doing. It could be that you need help with it. We all need help with stuff once in a while. There's things that some of us do that are, like, I've never made a piece of software I can't figure out, but other people, that literally does, like, it puts them in freeze mode. For me, I hate accounting. I can't stand it. I know how to deal with a spreadsheet. I know math. I was going to be an engineer out of high school. I went all the way through calculus. I know math. But accounting, oh, I need someone else's input and help on that. So you could even be like adjacent to the thing and still need help with it. You could be really good at the thing and need help with it because you've got a lot going on. So there's lots of reasons that you might need the help. So the truth of the matter, of this matter, is frankly that your nervous system, not your willpower, your nervous system, not your willpower, is overloaded by digital noise. And the boundaries are what you need because boundaries build balance. So even for those of us who are technophiles and love, 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 love the tech, we still occasionally have overload of either digital noise or some kind of noise, and we need to build a boundary. And actually, one thing I know of Miss G, who's in the audience, she builds very purposeful boundaries on when she's on and when she's off. And I do too. We have different plans. We bought different plans. We were in different lines in the build your boundary workshop, and she bought one package and I bought another. And you get the package that works for you, right? Your nervous system, whether it's technology and there's digital noise, or whether it's people and there's energetic peopling noise, whether it's work and it's task noise, whether it's television being on, kids being around you, any number of things that your nervous system gets overloaded with. And it's not your willpower. It's not your discipline. It's not you're not good enough or you're not doing the right thing. It's literally that you need to build a boundary of this is how much I can take at any given time. This is when I need to do this or not. One of my personal boundaries is at 5 o'clock, I turn the computer off and take a break. Now, that doesn't mean that I take the rest of the evening off because I am a technophile and I love my technology. Technology for me is my tool to interface with the world. So it's not a struggle for me. It's the how I interface with the world thing. I spend time with real humans in real spaces. The only thing I can't do with them is physically touch them, but I spend real time talking about real and deep subjects with other human beings around the world through a computer screen. And just this morning, I witnessed an amazing discussion between a couple of human beings about lots of things that are going on in the world right now, about each of their experiences. And I do that almost all week. So yes, I'm on a device, but this device allows me to go around the world every day. So to me, it's a tool that allows me to do that. It's not this thing that gets in my way that I have to, that's causing me stress. Now, again, it's very, very personal. We each have a different view of it. And like she says, amen, yes to the human connection. The reason personally Stacy uses tech is to either automate all my shit so that I can get more done so that I can spend more time doing the human connection, or more time for self-care for me when I do turn the computer off and do something else. It's the tool, right? I even use it as a tool for the self-care at times. Because doing the things on the computer brings me joy, to me, it actually is a form of self-care. I realize that's not a common thing. So I'm not saying it should be self-care for everybody. Oh, bullshit. Flat out bullshit. That's just for the Stacy. Maybe a few other people out there. But we need to break the myth that the tech is bad. It's the human. It's what choice we're making is not always the best choice for us. Like Jesus, this is when tech is being used for good. Let it pick up the load so you can do what you want to do and be present doing it. Let that one sit for a minute. If what this tool is able to pick up the load so that you can do, one, the things you want to do, and two, you can be present doing it, This computer is no different than the washing machine in the other room in that regard. That washing machine in there allows me to not be rubbing clothes on a rock with some kind of soap weed to wash my clothes and then hanging them up. It lets me put them in there, put the soap in, turn the button on, go do something else, like maybe, spend time with somebody, do something. Fire allows us to cook meals so that we're not eating raw food. Everything is a tool. Ollie, it's good to see you this morning. Speaking of Project Joy's own, pardon my French, co-host, you guys, if you have not seen Project Joy, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, triple shot of joy every week. And Ollie is now a co-host there and has an amazing segment called Pardon My French. And Ollie, please take care of yourself. If you're feeling overwhelmed and emotionally drained, please spend time and take care of yourself. That's everybody in the audience, just send some positive energies from yourself. Send our friend Ollie some positive energies, because we all need those once in a while, and today he needs those. So they need those. So let's do that. Your nervous system, when it is overloaded by anything, technology, a tool, the world, put boundaries around it. Take a break. Even if you're in the middle of doing something that you absolutely have to do, take a break. There's nothing more important than your self-care and balance. And in order to build balance, we need boundaries. And so that is one foundation that I want everybody to think about and know this morning. So in that vein, I want the next question is, are you digitally fried or just fine? Are you digitally fried or just fine? And the question I want you to answer is, it's kind of a multiple choice again, just like the last ones. How many tabs do you have open right now? And I don't want you to just answer on your device. I want you to answer, how many tabs do you have open right now? Not only on a device, but how many tabs do you have open right now in here? Because the tabs you have open in the device, you can shut the lid down on that. That's funny when I did that, what it did with the camera. You can turn the laptop off. You can turn the phone off and turn those tabs off and walk away from them. It's harder to turn this one off and walk away and turn those tabs off and put a boundary on that stressor. But both of them are tools. Both of them have lots of tabs open. And when the music plays, you don't always know where it's coming from, whether it's in the device or when the extra music plays in here. It could be a song getting stuck in your head. Putting boundaries around having too many tabs open in the device may be easy. Turn the device off, walk away. Closing the tabs in our mind, that requires some more, you can't just unplug the plug. You can, but you are not always in a position where you can just go and take a nap and go to sleep, which to me is the same as turning the computer off, is going to sleep, taking a nap. But meditating obviously is a really good one. Going and doing something. I had a friend the other day, she was describing, she's trying to do new fun things and do things just for fun and spend the time with that. And one of the things she was describing was She had spent, an afternoon watching a movie with some friends online. The tool can be used for fun, y'all. Um, Spent the time watching a movie online with other friends, and how much joy that brought them. And so they were able to spend that time just escaping and watching a movie, and then spent some other time just escaping and watching a movie. But you could escape watching a movie, you could escape reading a book, you could go outside for a walk and escape into nature. You could go and people watch at the local casino, or I used to say mall, but we don't have that anymore so much. Go to a local shopping area and just get a cup of coffee or a soda or something and sit outside or sit in a window near the uh, out of next to a window and people watch. Um, there's lots of things we can do to turn all those tabs open in our mind off and just kind of drift out a little bit. Um, and we should do that more often. Putting boundaries in our day such that we have other things we're doing other than um, work obligations. Another example of a boundary slash doing something good for yourself is things like going to lunch with friends or having a just a hangout time. I have every single week on my calendar, 9 a.m. Thursdays in the Quantum Quaff, which is a virtual location, we have what we call coffee. It literally is a social hour. You see the logo up above me for Quantum Quaff. Every Thursday at 9 a.m. Central since 2019, we have had this event. Now, 2019, pandemic hadn't happened. But boy, howdy, once the pandemic happened, coffee became more and more and more important because it was time for humans to connect with each other, especially many people who weren't usually in that tech video call world like I was, because I started doing that in 2001. Yes, 2001. I started doing video calls, at least that early. As soon as I found something that did it, I started doing those. And a video call every week with friends that is just open house style and just come in. The only rule in coffee is do no harm, but we talk about anything, everything, and nothing at the same time. Sometimes the discussions are serious and deep, and sometimes it's what we had for dinner. And that block of time on my calendar is blocked out. I don't go to other meetings during that time. I don't schedule other things. The only thing that can get in the way of coffee is my friends or family members having something that I need to be at. And those need to be they can't just be, "Oh, hey, can you come to this thing?" It's, "Oh, I'm sick and I need somebody to be here." Or, "Oh, my husband's saying, 'Oh, let's go out of town for the day.'" Oh, I've got one of my coffees coming up, but I probably am gonna actually still do coffee from my phone in the car 'cause we're gonna be driving. I can still do coffee. The important part about my saying that is that if you are on my calendar or coffee like that is like me putting all my friends in my calendar for 1 hour a week, my friends are all in my calendar at coffee. And if you are in my calendar or if you want to be on my calendar, it's not because I don't have time for you. It is because if you're on my calendar, you mean something to me. You mean something to me to that I am going to block out other things I could be doing. I'm going to block out so that people can't make appointments with me. I'm going to block out anything else so that you have that time with me. Asking you to put a time on my calendar doesn't mean I am so busy that I can't make time for you. It means I am making time for you, and I want that time to be for you and not for something else. And I think all the way around, we kind of need to talk about how important that is to each other. So, is having time with each other. And I'm going to go back to what G said about human connection, right? And the other thing that I have technology do, like I said, have it pick up the load so you can do what you want and be present. Have the washing machine do the laundry so that you can spend time with people. Have your business automation system send automated emails out that you're going to send out anyway to lots of people, so you're not stressing on that. Have it do social media posts for you so you're not stressing on those, and you can spend your week doing what you want to doing what you need or what to do. So Ollie says there's 17 tabs in his brain. Okay. 17's not too bad. I usually have at least 47 at once, something like that, 47 or 57. And here we go. The party started. It is a party now. Lori's in the house. Goodbye, Good Girl Project. Hey, Lori. If you guys didn't see my show last week with Lori, go watch the replay. It was great. G's got 4 tabs right now in the brain and 6 on the computer, and it's being managed. Though that's not too bad. Only 4 in the brain? Phew. Good on you, girl. Good on you. You're pretty good at that kind of balance, though. Hopefully some of the 4 in the brain and some of the 6 on the computer, it's an overlap, like the brain's doing some work and the computer's doing some work, and so really, like, you only have a total of a total of less than 10 altogether. And then Lori says, I don't believe in closing the tabs, but in bringing the distraction, meditation, yes, thinking about something that really pleases you. Yeah, I don't believe in closing the tabs either, girl. I literally could not tell you guys how many tabs I have going in the computer right now, because I literally counted one day and I had almost 300. But let me dive down that a little bit more. I had 300 I have and had and have approximately 200 to 300 tabs going at any given time. However, I use a browser that groups them together, so that really I only have like 10 tabs open, but each of those tabs is a project, and within each project there are tabs that are open, and all of those projects are in a workspace, and there are multiple workspaces. And that is so I can leave something where it was when I stop it, and leave it there, and it holds my place. It's like putting bookmarks in a book. So it holds my place in one workspace. Like my Monday workspace, I don't need it today. It's Thursday. I don't need the Monday one. But I want the Monday one to be where it was when I left last Monday, so that I can jump back in this coming Monday. My Tuesday workspace, my Wednesday workspace, I have certain things I do on certain days, so I have the projects where I left them last, so that then I can go straight back to them. So it's an organizational system, is why I have 300 tabs open at any given time. I also can search very quickly for something I need from Monday's work or from Wednesday's work or whatever when I need it, because those tabs are still open, quote unquote, even though I'm not doing, they're not in front of me where it's overwhelming too much. Because like I said, I don't feel that same kind of overwhelm that other people do. As a matter of fact, I go back and forth between tabs and between programs very, very fluidly, because that's how my brain works, and I go with the flow that my brain has. And I think everyone needs to go with whatever flow they have, because everybody has a different way to do their flow. To some people, if you've got more than 3 tabs open, that's too much. And so we're back to the GPS that we talked about at the beginning. Chemical Soup TV's in the Twitch house. Welcome, welcome. It's been a bit. I'm glad to see you. Ollie says 2001, The Nuts Odyssey. Was it on Skype? I think one of the ones I was using was Skype, but I've used so many different video programs, I couldn't even tell you all of them. There's certain ones that are highlighted in my life, like Blab. So 2014, there was a site called blab.im, and it actually, I have friends that I speak with on a weekly basis still, and Blab was open 2014 to 2015 or so. So it's been 10 years ago since we had the platform we were on, and it built an amazing community. And that community still interacts with each other. So we built an incredible community that still talks to each other. And then there's some other communities that I've been involved in that I really, really am comfortable with, though. Crucial for mental health. Yeah. And Cafe du Bain. Am I saying that one right, Ollie? Let me know. I live and move by the calendar. Oh my gosh, G. Yeah. I have my day starts with whatever it is I'm drinking, which sometimes coffee, sometimes iced coffee. Get that kind of stuff situated. When I sit down at the computer at first, I look at my calendar. I look at my emails, which I use a program called Canary Mail now, so I call them the Canaries. So I look at the calendar, the Canaries, and then I use a program for my tasks called Ellie Planner. And so I look at the Canaries and the Ellies. And Ellie takes care of all my tasks, and the Canary takes care of filing all my emails. And there's a bunch of automation in each of those so that I don't have to, it takes me no time to get to inbox 0 every day, because that's important to me. But living and dying by and moving by the calendar. And when you put people in your calendar who you care about in appointments, if I send you a calendar and say, hey, book a time on my calendar, it's because I want you on my calendar. I want to spend time with you. And I want to make sure that nobody else takes that time, and that I don't inadvertently take that time. I don't want to just spend random time with you. I want to spend I do want to spend random time too. I want to spend purposeful time with individuals. I want to spend random time with my online friends as we go in and out of each other's virtual spaces and say hello. So the world I live in has virtual spaces. You can float in and out of people's rooms and show up and see who's where. And that's an amazing, right? So meditation. Ooh. So I think it's the meditation. Start the day by getting centered and end the day by getting centered. Ooh. Gee, tell me more. Are you talking like in your calendar, or when you you start the day by getting centered, so meditation. So you've got a boundary around, I'm not starting my day until I do this thing and get myself grounded. And a boundary at the end of the day of going, okay, I'm done now, and I'm going to bring myself back to center. Let me know if I interpreted that one correct. If I got close. I may not be correct, but if I got close. I think it is important to have rituals in our day, and foundation that rituals that have boundaries. Your day has steps of X, Y, Z at a certain time, and it doesn't have to be that every morning I wake up at this time and then I do this and then I do this. Personally, mine on Mondays and Thursdays, I wake up early, but the other days, don't call me, because I am not going to, I might turn into a growling teenager. And that's not pretty. It's not. I wake up at different times, different days, but my routine after I get up is generally the same. Can it be different? Is that going to throw me off? No. I'm good if it's different, it's different, and that happens. Practicing mindfulness is why she doesn't have a lot of practicing mindfulness is why she doesn't have a lot of tabs going. And so mindfulness in where you're at in what you're working on. So being mindful of what you're working on and being in that moment. Let me see if I got that one right. I just need to put everybody just needs to come by, sit in the different seats, and then we have a full discussion on the screen. So just to give us a little bit of a break, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about the Breakthrough Show Network, where this show lives, because there are some amazing shows on the Breakthrough Show Network. I'll be right back.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing. Healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
You guys take a look at those shows. There's some great ones. Let's talk about some nutty nuggets. And think about, when we're talking about this, is what is it you want to try this week that's new? What kind of nutty nugget? So I'm gonna just breeze through some neuroscience of overwhelm a little bit. Is the neuroscience of overwhelm involves dopamine loops, a chemical released in our brain called dopamine, and these dopamine loops and constant alerts. Think of like if somebody's text messaging you and your phone is just blowing up, ping, 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 ping. Think about that like your brain blowing up that way, right? So it's your brain sending you a text message and you've got a dopamine hit, ping, another dopamine hit, ping, another dopamine hit, ping, and it's constant alert, alert, alert. And that we get overwhelmed when there's too many of those. And let's contrast that, though, also with the myth that we think we can multitask. Multitasking is not possible. You cannot focus your awareness on more than one thing at a time, and there is transitional time between tasks that your brain has to transition the thing. So multitasking is a myth because the switching costs you brain time and it reduces your clarity and your calm. You can't focus on just one thing or focus on multiple things at the same time. So you've got 6 different kinds of tasks and you're trying to do all 6 of them at the same time. You're not. You're doing one of them at a time and you're not doing all 6. And it may take 6 times longer. And I think this speaks really well to what G was saying about being mindful, and that's why she only has the few tabs open compared to, say, my 300. Now, my 300 is not because I'm multitasking. It's because I've got the piles organized so that when it's time to work on pile X, I go to that set of tabs and that project and work my way down the list. And so for me, it's an organizational structure on how I organize the things so that I can stay mindful and I can switch then from project to another project when it's time to do that. Because I do need variety in my day also. I can't just work. I need to if I hit overwhelm on a particular project because I've been working on it so long or because I'm stuck somewhere, I will then allow my brain to switch into another project. And it's what I've figured out about myself. And I think we're back to, you have to know self in order to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. Ollie is also asking for more help expressing voice and needs, seeing a tsunami coming and feeling overwhelmed and freaked out. Ollie, you have hopefully you have lots of us that are friends, and anybody who's in the audience who knows Ollie, please help me well, if you don't know Ollie, you should. Let's send some of the energy from our tabs, especially our tabs up here and our spiritual tabs. Send those to to our dear friend. If anybody in this world knows words and the specificity of words and the power and the energy that words have, it's my friend Ollie. And the world needs more understanding of that. So I'm sending you my energies so that you can feel better, so that we can see more of that light that you shine into the world, and hopefully less tabs open in your mind and less overwhelm for that. I'm going to define one more thing, and then let's look at some things we can do about those overwhelm things. So Techxiety. So you've heard me say, are you an entrepreneur challenged at the intersections of mental wellness and technology? Got Techxiety? I solve that. So let me define Techxiety, because I think I want, people sometimes misunderstand it, that I'm just talking about anxiety about technology. Yes, that is a form of Techxiety, but really my definition of that is a little bit more broad. It really is the challenges at the intersections of mental wellness and any kind of technology, including any kind of, and by technology, I mean tools. Your coffee cup could be a form of technology because it is a device that is made to hold liquid. And you could be overwhelmed with it because either there's not enough or it's too cold or whatever reasons, right? You could have mental wellness overwhelm or a challenge there. But for today's topic, the definition of Techxiety is friction between the tools and the human nervous system. So friction between whatever the tool it is and the human nervous system causing overwhelm. And our brains send digital signals, or send signals about digital burnout long before you realize it. It sends signals to our body that we're tired, that we're stressed, that we're overwhelmed, that there's too much going on. It makes us go through the 4 F's, and let me see if I can remember those. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So you've heard of fight and flight. So fighting, obviously, grr. Flight, running. Freeze, when you stop and go, you're like a deer in the headlights. And then fawn is kind of when you're shrinking back into yourself. And overwhelm can cause any of those 4 things very easily. And it can send our body sends us signals to do that thing when we hit overwhelm. And that's just one way that we kind of can watch for those things to see, are we in any kind of overwhelm, and not just about the tabs open on the technology, but the tabs open here. You might not be near any digital technology and become overwhelmed. Life can overwhelm us. And and it's recognizing when we're in that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn state, and knowing what to do with it. Number one thing to do with it is it's okay to ask for help. It's okay. We're all humans on this planet to help each other get through this life. And it's okay to ask somebody else for help because you've probably, number one, you've probably either helped that person or another person at some point in your life. They're going to need help at some point in their life. We're here to help each other. We're here to be resources for each other. So why do we feel uncomfortable with asking for that help? That's another thing we need to examine within ourselves. We're talking about a lot of examining within self today. That's kind of a theme, I think. There's also 3 things that you want to look at when it comes to technology. There are 3 T's that you can look for, of things that you can do to limit that digital overwhelm, right? So since we're kind of talking a lot of digital overwhelm today, let's look at 3 T's that you can look at to limit your digital overwhelm. So you want, and these are things to examine and potentially change. Those 3 T's are time, triggers, and tech space. Time is limiting your time on an app or a category, limiting your time on a project, limiting your time on a device, limiting your time on a category of type of tasks. Putting a boundary around the amount of time or around the time you spend doing X, Y, or Z. Triggers. You would do a triggers audit, and that's noticing what sparks the stress. Just like we were just talking about that whole, like, noticing what's going on in your body. When you look at a particular software or a particular project or a particular tab, or you're trying to figure a certain thing out and you get overwhelmed, stop and feel into your body and see if you can find out where that trigger is landing. How does it feel in your body? Does it have a smell? Does it have a taste? Does it have a sound? Is it in a particular part of your body? Does it have a particular sensation, a particular level of the sensation, high or low? Kind of like when the doctor asks you about pain at the doctor's office, is it a scale of 0 to 10? At what scale is it? How long has it been there? How often does it happen? Noticing the things. So doing a triggers audit could be noticing all of those things. And it could be that they are fleeting and they happen really quick and then they're gone and then they come back again and then they're gone and they come back again and then they're gone. And maybe they increase in frequency or feeling as they do. And recognizing that and even documenting it is important because then you can go back and look for patterns. So doing a triggers audit could be something you do over time. It could be as easy or as simple rather as using the technology to help you track the thing. Type it into your own private GPT on your device, or your own GPT that if you're comfortable using one of the public GPTs, but putting it in a particular folder in your account. You can also put a GPT on your device, on your local device, and have it just run local, and it be a place where you can put your notes and then ask it questions about your patterns. You could also say, hey, Google, remind me that I had blah, 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 blah feeling in my chest at such and such a time after such and such happened. Or, hey, ALEXA or SIRI. You can use the tools to help you use the technology for good, to help you track what's going on. That actually does several things at once. But doing a trigger audit is noting what your body GPS is saying about the notifications that spark stress. Then tech space redesign. Tech space redesign are things like, when you go to dinner, do you turn your phone upside down on the table or leave it in a bag? Do you have it in your hand? If you always have it in your hand when you're out at dinner, are you spending the time with the other person if you're with another person? Or are you spending the time with yourself as you might want to do? Or are you spending the time mindfully eating as you might want to do? all different decisions for different people. We all have different needs and wants and desires and goals in those things. And so you always have to do you. Always. If somebody tells you in a program, oh, you have to do it this, and this way, you have to do things my way, you have to do things this way, get out of no. Anything on my show in here, take it, leave it, lump it. It's not always going to work for you. I try and give resources, and I give lots and lots of resources, lots of ideas. But things don't always work for everybody. And I know that. Now, you might not hear me say it often enough, but, take it, leave it, lump it. It may be great for you. It may be a version of it that's great for you. I get great ideas from you in the audience telling me what your ideas are. I've implemented things that people told me. But text-based design, let me bring us back real quick before I get too far gone, is things like turning your phone over on a table, things like leaving your phone in a bag, having an office space that is just for technology, having a space that has TVs or no TVs, having a space that has, having a place you go, maybe even that doesn't have any forms of technology. Maybe you leave once a year and go out to the woods in a cabin and you spend time in nature. Creating visual or physical zones for being on or off, and different kinds of on or off too, right? And those can only be created by you, for you, about you. Now, if you live with another human, you've kind of got to sometimes work out what that looks like for each person and how you can design spaces that accommodate both people's needs. But just because, and just because there's a TV in the room doesn't mean you have to turn it on. I've got a TV in the room I'm in, and I turn it on maybe once every 3 months. I don't turn that TV on. Now, I've got a laptop in the same room, and it's on every day for different things, but it's on every day. Let me hit the comments up one more time. G's got Ollie, and we all do. And Ollie's helping me take notes. Time, triggers, and text space. I love that. Thank you so much for doing that, because then that helps other people who are watching. They've got the notes. Thank you so much. Science friction. Ooh, see, I gotta watch and be careful, because Ollie will trip me up. I'll think he's typing one word and then it's actually another, and I love it because it's science friction versus reality. So it's our friction versus our reality, or our friction that is our reality that we need to turn into what we think might be science fiction, but could be our reality. I can go so many ways with that. Techxiety is different when it's said than when it's truly lived. Techxiety is definitely different that way. And getting back into our body and back into the present moment is so important, I think. At any given, for all of us at any time, and each way we do it, getting back into our body. So time, triggers, and text space. I think I'm going to wrap us up today with one more myth kind of thing, and to look at kind of another myth debunk, 2 more myth debunks before we leave. I'm going to leave you guys with these questions. Does deleting apps fix Techxiety? If you delete the apps, does it fix the Techxiety? And can AI ever support mental health safely? 2 big tech myth nuts. Let's cracking these last 2 myths. Does deleting your apps fix Techxiety? And can AI ever support mental health safely? And if you're watching the replay, put it on pause and think about those two for a minute and then put your answers back in. So I'm going to ask them one more time and then I'm going to give my answers this time. Does deleting apps fix Techxiety? And can AI ever support mental health safely? And so my personal, individual, like 8.3 billion people on this planet, I'm the only one that gets what's in this brain, and this is where it's coming from. So take it, leave it, lump it. Deleting apps only temporarily does anything for Techxiety. If you delete apps, yes, it may feel relieved, but in actuality, if you've deleted an app, especially if it's something that has been something that is good for you for what you do for your work, or if it's something that keeps you connected to other humans, or if it's something that saves you time and productivity so you can do self-care, or if it's a self-care app, deleting the app can feel like it fixes the Techxiety, the challenge at the intersection of mental wellness and technology, but it's only going to be temporary because, number one, there's always something else that's coming that causes Techxiety again. So you haven't gotten to the root. Number two, you haven't always looked at your GPS to figure out what the root really is. So again, you haven't gotten to the root. So if you just delete the app may not be anything having to do with it. It may be your time, your triggers, or your tech space. So it may not, it may be that there's other things you need to examine, other boundaries you need to change, other physical ways of doing things you need to change, physical or visual ways you need to change things. So deleting an app or just getting off of an app isn't always going to fix Techxiety. And in this case, I'll call Techxiety digital tools. The second question of can AI ever support mental health safely? And I'm going to say an emphatic yes. And that emphatic yes is from the position of being a clinician, a therapist who assigns very specific. No, I partner with my clients with very specific homework that has boundaries and intention around how they're using, which type of AI and what they're doing with it that fits for them for their mental wellness. And have had amazing luck, not with my camera apparently. Gee, I need your help on the camera, girl. My tool, this tool's causing me some overwhelm because it's moving me around. It's seeing me move my hands and thinking there we go. Maybe it'll move me back up. AI can support mental wellness and mental health safely. Absolutely. Now, can it also be detrimental and negative? Abso-effing-lutely. Any tool, no matter what it is, from AI to a car, to fire, to the washing machine, to the printing press, all of the tools, any tool can be positive or negative. We're back here at the beginning of where we started, G. Any tool can be used for good or evil. The difference is the human and the intention. And I think if you put careful boundaries and intention around what you're using the tool for and what tool you are using, you also, with AI especially, you need to be careful about which tool you use for what, because not all AI is alike. Not all computers are alike. Not all tools are alike. And they all specialize in different things. And each human is different. And what tools work for me may not work for you. The way I use my tools may not work for you. I think a really, really important thing is making sure that we examine individually how we interact with the world and look at how it impacts us, use our GPS to figure out what it's doing, and then figure out what we're going to do with it. I hope we've broken some myths today about how technology is not, it's not just a monster. Digital overwhelm is a real thing. Absolutely. Calming digital overwhelm and why your brain needs boundaries, because it's been hitting those, it's been text messaging you dopamine all day. When your brain texts you dopamine all day, you need to take a break. Your body can't handle all that. It's too much, no matter what the dopamine's for. And putting boundaries around how much of any activity you do at any given time is vital. It's for balance. We all need self-care. We all need activity. We all need human interaction. We all need the tools that we're using. We can all benefit from using the tools to help us get more done so we can spend more time doing this and taking care of ourselves. At the same time, you don't owe every ping your presence. Now, when I say that, I don't just mean the pings on the device. I mean the pings of our own mind bringing things up, and our own mind saying, oh, open this tab. Oh, worry about this thing. Oh, wait, over here, be mad at this person. Oh, look at this thing you're not doing well. Oh, look at how worthy you are here then. I mean those pings too. You don't owe every ping your presence. You owe yourself presence. You owe yourself balance. You owe yourself boundaries. You owe yourself to give presence to the things that are meaningful and positive for you. And I hope that that helps someone examine things differently in their life. Listen to your GPS. Listen to what it's telling you. Track it over time and look for patterns and see how you can interface with the world so that you have boundaries to have around each of the things so that you have more balance and so that you can spend more time doing the things that bring you joy. This shows one thing that brings me joy. I really appreciate everybody who's been in the chat today. And I'll thank you, G, for being here through the back of the beginning. And oh, here it is. AI would never replace Stacy's presence. Thank you, Ollie. I don't know that they can. I don't think they can build an AI that'll be like the squirrel. There's no way. I don't know. I keep trying to rebuild the squirrel, and I've got a couple of AIs that do a pretty good job of rebuilding parts of me, but yeah, I've never been I still can't. I can't even build an AI that replaces me. And so next week we're going to dive deeper into this whole idea of foundation, and we're going to look at next week. We're going to talk about creating an anxiety management foundations. So things about racing thoughts, what they're really trying to tell you. So we're going to go into a little bit more of why those when your brain is sending you dopamine texts right and left. And we're going to go into some more of that. Comment your digital boundary intention for the next week. So if you're watching the replay or if you're watching right now, put in hashtag digital boundary and put your intention for this week of something you want to examine, something you want to examine, something you want to look for a pattern in, something you want to change that you might already know about. What time triggers or tech space do you want to look at? And I'll see you guys all next week for some more Show Me Your Nuts. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you for joining us on this nutty adventure. Remember, personal growth and wellness are journeys best taken together. Keep exploring, keep growing, and don't forget to show me your nuts next time.